Hello everyone! If you enjoy this video, please leave a like and comment what type of content you would like to see next time. Also, only a small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed, so if you end up liking the video, consider subscribing. Check out the Patreon in the video description for some extra steamy content. Enjoy the video!
The biggest party of the year was always hosted by Delta Gamma. The ratio of girls to guys was something like 10 to 1. In Jason's freshman and sophomore year, he wasn't able to get on the approved guy list, and this year would likely be no different. He was envious of my two best friends, Rhea and Alexa. They were the same year as him and had gotten into the party the last 2 years. Throughout the year, they would tell Jason the crazy stories from that party and how good it was. Jason got fed up and one day complained to them how it was so unfair that he will probably never get to experience the party. Rhea and Alexa agreed with him that it was unfair, but said that was just how college was. There was an awkward silence and Rhea said she had an idea for how to get Jason in. Jason asked how. Rhea said she will work out all the details, she just asked him to promise that he would be down to do something crazy to get in. Jason badly wanted to go and said he was willing to do whatever to get in. Rhea made Jason pinky promise that he would be committed no matter what the idea was. Jason agreed as long as no one would be hurt. Rhea laughed and said yes, of course. The day of the party, Rhea asked Jason to come to her apartment. Alexa was already there and was in on what was happening. Rhea took Jason to her bathroom and stood there while Jason looked at all the items on the counter. There was a wig, a purple dress, heels, and a bunch of makeup. Jason turned and looked at Rhea and asked her if she was going to wear this. She smiled and said that he was actually going to wear this. Jason told Rhea there was no way he was going to do this. Alexa stepped into the bathroom and reminded Jason that he had said that he was going to be committed. She reminded him that he even pinky promised. Jason stood his ground and said he is definitely not going to be convincing enough to get in and will end up making a fool of himself. Rhea chimed in and said she would make a deal with him. She told him that by the end of his transformation, if he didn't look like a convincing woman, then he could undress and he wouldn't have to go. But if he looked convincing, then they had to at least try to get in. Jason thought long and hard about this and finally agreed to it. He sat down in the chair. Rhea told him to get up and put on the dress first. When Rhea handed him the dress, she also gave him a pair of matching panties and a bra. Rhea told him that the dress would look a lot better on him if he wore these. Jason was going to refuse again, but decided he might as well go along with it. Rhea and Alexa left the bathroom and Jason changed. He called them to come back in once he was done changing. They did and burst out in laughter when they saw Jason. They tried to hold in the laughs and told Jason that he looked so good. They had Jason sit down on the chair. Alexa got some wax strips from the cabinet and waxed Jason's upper and lower body. Jason was surprised by how smooth his skin was after the waxing. While this was happening, Alexa was getting to work on his makeup. She had to apply a lot of makeup to make him look like a convincing woman. She applied a great deal of foundation as well as lipstick and mascara. Jason had short hair, so there was no need for him to wear a hair cap. Alexa lifted the brown wig over his head and it took a while to adjust it so that it looked real. Alexa told Jason that his was a very expensive wig, so he better not mess it up since they would be returning it after the night. Once the wig was secured, Rhea painted Jason's nails off white. Alexa gave Jason some jewelry that he could borrow. She again reminded him to be careful with her stuff. Rhea let Jason borrow her heels since her and Jason were roughly the same shoe size. Once everything had been put on, Jason looked completely like a woman. Even he was surprised how feminine he looked when he glanced in the mirror. Looks like he would be going to the party after all. The transformation had taken a few hours and the party had just begun. Rhea gave Jason a 5-minute heel walking lesson and helped him try to speak more feminine. Rhea and Alexa quickly got ready while Jason patiently waited on the couch. At around 11 p.m., they walked out of the apartment and began making their way to the party. It was a cold night and wearing a dress didn't provide much warmth. Jason remarked about how cold it was and Raya said that he should stop complaining and take it like a man. Hay walked off campus and to the sorority house. There was a bouncer at the front that was checking all of the guys' IDs. There was a long line for the guys, but no line for the girls. Out of instinct, Jason made his way to the guys' line. Raya quickly grabbed him and told him to stop acting suspicious. They made their way to the front of the line and waited for the bouncer to give them the go-ahead. The bouncer glanced at them and complimented Jason on his jewelry. Jason smiled. He was way too afraid to say anything. They entered the party and it was amazing. The house was massive and the ceilings were high. There were balconies overlooking the main dance area and massive Roman pillars in the corners of the room. There were a few men in suits walking around serving food. Jason had never seen anything like this at a sorority party before. The three of them made their way to the dance floor and began dancing. All of the sorority girls were wearing white dresses while everyone else was instructed to wear dark colors. The sorority girls looked amazing and were some of the most beautiful girls that Jason had ever seen. He felt intimidated by them. All three of them began drinking and enjoying the party. Suddenly, one of the sorority girls came up to Jason and introduced herself. She said that she hadn't seen Jason around campus and that his dress was beautiful. Jason giggled and just smiled. The sorority girl asked him what sorority he was in. He said Chi Omega in his most girly voice. The sorority girl made a suspicious friend and called for another girl to come over. The other girl introduced herself and the original girl asked her if Jason was in Chi Omega. She shook her head and danced off. The original girl asked Jason for his name. Jason tried to say Sarah in his most girly voice. At this point, Jason saw that she knew that he was a guy. She grabbed Jason by his arm and pulled him off the dance floor. Jason looked around and couldn't see Raya or Alexa. The girl told a few other sorority girls what was going on and they surrounded Jason. They took him out of the main room and down a long hall. Jason was ushered into a bedroom. The door was locked behind them. There were 4 girls and the one who initially talked to Jason introduced herself as Sarah. She demanded to know how he got into the party. He explained that the bouncer let him in. She looked angry and asked for his real full name. He said it. She then paused for a minute and said that sounded familiar. He could see her mood changing from angry to amused. She looked him up on IG and whispered something to the other girls. The other girls unlocked the door and left. Sarah locked the door behind him. Sarah came closer to him and said it was so funny that they had never met because she had actually had a crush on him last year. Jason froze and didn't say anything. Sarah leaned in and kissed him on the lips. Hey, guys. Part 2 of the story will be on my Patreon. Link is in the description. I hope you enjoyed the story. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe.